we have been discussing a lot of this, how to get gas, how the legislation will be, how is this influencing on the environment. But my task is to see to that, does it work? Do we have engines that work? How can we be sure that what you will use, what you will buy if you will be a passenger on a ferry, will it work? And that is a little bit what I want to show now from Wärtsilä's side of view, how we have done so far and how we are progressing in technology. We are looking at the future on land, so that's power plant. What do they need? We have a long list here. I will not go through it, but a long list of high efficiency, everything. On all these aspects, our engines, our power plants must be working well. Then we have ship power, the future at sea. Here we are looking at all these aspects at the same time when we are testing out new products. First of all, we go down with the safety. Everything what we do must origin in safety all time. So if you have a new fuel, if you have a new design, everything must be done so it's a robust design, so you are safe. Then for the legislation part of view, the emissions are very important. We always have to cope with the emissions. And for us and for our children, we always want to cope with the emission and lower the emissions. Then one thing that is tricky for all engines, for all ships, is the sea itself. You have high waves, you have a different difficult environmental issues that you cannot do about the weather. So also the engine must be able to perform at all times. Then fuel flexibility as the last. When you bunker LNG or gas or whatever, there is no standard. There is Algerian LNG, there is Alaskan LNG, there is whatever, and it could be whatever. So our product must be able to cope with everything that comes and will also come in the future. So this is what we have done then. We started off in 87. Unfortunately, I was not at Wärtsilä at that point. I started in 93, so it was a little bit before. But we started off with to make a diesel engine running on gas, just to get the flare gas fired away from or used in a better way than to flare it away on oil drilling sites and so on. Then we went into the spark ignited gas for power plant to make a pure gas engine, and that was in 91 in Sweden, and 93 when I came to Wärtsilä. We continued in Finland to do that. After a while we saw that we were ready to have diesel engines and have gas engines, but the world was not ready. So somebody wanted to have both in the same package. So then we made the dual fuel engine, and this has been a very good compromise now. When you start, you have a diesel engine that works fully on diesel with the highest performance, but you also have a gas engine if you can get gas. And this is where we are at the moment. Perhaps in the future we don't need dual fuel engines because the infrastructure will be out there in every port, everywhere, but for sure it will take a long time, listening today before we have everything in place. So now, what should we offer then? We offer now from 1 megawatt engines up to 20 megawatt engines. So in principle, whatever ship you have, whatever power plant up to 500 megawatt. So we have a product for it, so it can be used. Here is now the dual fuel. Speed up, yes. Okay, you know the reasons. With the gas engines, by naturally the NOx will come down because of the Otto principle, and the SOx, sulfur oxides, because you don't find it in the fuel, and then also because of the way the chemical composition of the methane. We will also go down in CO2 only by being as good in gas as in diesel. So here is the same you saw also previously. Then in the end, what are we using it for now? You have seen this. First of all, there has been Norway. We like Norway because Norway has been showing that you can use LNG, you can use gas for all applications. So we have these that are transporting people and goods to the oil rigs and so on. Here is one of the newest with dual fuels engines. And then we also have, let's say in 2002, 2001, 2002, the marine business suddenly woke up and we sold 52 ships with 4 engines each. And here is now the first one that went into the operation, is the Gaz de France Provalis, that is going Marseille and from Algeria. Then this picture you have seen all. I think you should all take this picture yourself. Go and visit the Viking race, because here you have everything what is needed. Also we saw nice pictures here from Miss Novella that showed how it works. And here we can see that this is a ship going Finland, Sweden, Finland, Sweden. It stops only 1 hour in harbor. And during that time they have to change all water, all people, all the trucks, and also fuel. And this is done now in 40 minutes all the time. And here is from last week my picture taking of the gas tank on board the ship. And how it's made, it's very simple. You can bunker on the yellow from both sides of the ship, either from truck or then from the small bunkering ship that Ms. Novella showed also. And then you have the possibility also to run in diesel if you don't have gas. This has now been the situation. They have only had gas enough for running in Stockholm, and then going to Finland they have been running on diesel. But now this will change this month, I think. Yes, last but not least, here is where I am living. I'm living in an engine laboratory, and we are like a ship. We don't have gas pipe to Vaasa, so we use LNG, and that we have used for the last, since 95, when I got the first gas engine into the lab. And after that, we have used LNG, and we see that it's very safe, very easy to handle. You don't need much infrastructure, you just put it up. We have not had a single accident regarding to any gas transportation or any for this time.
Grazie, una testimonianza molto vicina.